Hi, Margaret Shackerby from the ICT Shack, and today we're going to be talking about the negative factors for your local search. These are the things that you don't do, things that you need to be aware that actually have that negative impact on your results. It's not things that just doesn't improve you, it's things that actually bring your results down. So the first one is using an incorrect business category on your Google My Business local page. It's important that you choose the correct category. Some of the categories probably it's hard to work out exactly which is the best category for you, but it's definitely worth taking the time to actually find out, look through the actual listings of all the categories and see which one is the best one for your business. You can have multiple categories in there. I think you can have up to about 5, but choose the most relevant and don't have ones that are irrelevant to your business. The next one is using a false business address for your Google My Business ranking. It's important that you have the correct business address. If you use a false one and you get caught out, there's serious repercussions. The third one is having an inconsistent NAP address. Your NAP is your name, address and phone number, and it has to be across everywhere in the website, in the internet. So what happens is every time it is found by the search engines, it gives your domain, your NAP together, higher authority. So by having an inconsistent NAP, it waters it down to say. So say for example, instead of having one address that might have 100 citations, it might be seen that you've got 20 addresses that each one have 5 citations. So it's very important that you have exactly the same NAP citation. And talking about that, the worst thing that you can use for your local search ranking is to use tracking phone numbers on your website. A lot of search companies suggest that you use these tracking numbers because they want to be able to track what they're doing and the results and where it's coming from. It is the worst thing that you can do for your local ranking because it gives you that inconsistent NAP. And what happens once you stop using these people or stop using these tracking numbers and people have those numbers stored, then they will be referred to as, you ring the number and it says this business is closed, and that's not very good for your ranking. The other thing that you should be using instead of using these tracking numbers to be able to track phone calls and things is in your Google Analytics, put some tracking on the phone number, on the click to call for your mobile. You'll be surprised what information you can get in that from your Google goals. The next one is malware on your website. Obviously, if your website is compromised and you've got malware in it, it has a huge negative effect. And often you're probably not even aware that you've got malware in there. So that's something that you need to be very important. You need to make sure that your CMS is regularly updated. You need to make sure you've got a fairly decent firewall and you're using quality hosting. The next one is reports of Google My Business violations. And you can get a list of the Google My Business rules and standards from the Google My Business website, and just make sure that you actually conform to their rules for your Google My Business ranking, because there are other search engines around, but to be honest, the Google and the Google My Business probably has the highest results for small businesses. Okay, so the next one is something that people do that they don't even think about as being negative. But if you have multiple My Business, Google My Business pages, but you use the same phone number on them, it has a hugely negative effect. So it's sort of really highlighting to Google that you've got one business and you've tried to put it around a few different places. So if you are going to have that strategy and you have a few different locations, you want to have a different phone number for each one. That's extremely important. The next one is having an inconsistent address between your Google My Business and your website. So you have your Google My Business page and you actually have your website on your Google My Business page, but when the search engines crawl through it and they discover that on here it's got a different address on the website. And that's extremely important that it's consistent, because that detracts on your authority. And that follows up to this one here saying that no crawlable NAP on the website. So crawlable is crawlable by your search bots, and they need to be able to find an NAP citation on your website, and then that has to also conform with your Google My Business and also in the citations that you're doing. And the last one is using a false address that doesn't exist. Google is aware of, and the other search engines as well, they're all aware of this type of thing. If you might get away with it for a while, but really what they're trying to do is they're trying to give the best result for their customer. Their customer is the person that's searching, not you that's being listed on it. So they want to get the best result for the searchers, and they want to make sure that the information that they give the searchers through their search engine results are accurate and they're credible and it's the most relevant for them. So this is Margaret Shackerby from the ICT Shack. Stay tuned for the next video.